The governor declares a state of emergency as flooding continues to be a concern across the region.
And Paradigm is honoring the first responders that saved lives when a gunman opened fire last year.
Plus, Milwaukee police are giving an update on an active Amber Alert as they continue to search for a missing 2-year-old.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Before we get to our top news stories, we have a very busy weather day today with flooding concerns continuing and Governor Tony Evers declaring a state of emergency because of it.
Adam Duxter is in Columbus, where some residents have been asked to evacuate, and Keely Arthur is live in DeForest, where residents had a mandatory curfew overnight and some people voluntarily evacuated.
But let's begin with meteorologist Dave Caulfield. He's in the Weather Center with the latest conditions. Dave?
Well, Susan and Amanda, the good news is as we head into this weekend, we are looking at mostly quiet weather. Looks to stay dry for quite some time across southern Wisconsin, which is exactly what we need. A live look in Madison at partly sunny skies on the WISC-TV Skycam, currently at 40 degrees, but with a west-northwest wind at 15 miles per hour. It does feel a little bit closer to the freezing mark. A few snowflakes trying to develop across southern Wisconsin this early evening, but we have a lot of dry air over us right now, so I don't think a lot of that is going to hit the ground. Nevertheless, don't be surprised if we see a few snowflakes this evening before clouds start to clear out even more as we head into the overnight hours. Temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s, but with that wind out of the northwest at about 15 to 25 miles per hour, it does feel a little bit closer to 30 degrees. We're falling into the lower 20s as we head into the start of Saturday. Plenty of sunshine greets us for the afternoon on Saturday. So we'll talk about how long this dry weather will last and when the 50s return to the forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dave. Snowmelt and rain is continuing to cause flooding across southern Wisconsin for the second straight day.
Our Adam Duxter is live in Columbus tonight, where many have lost power and had to evacuate. Adam?
Well, Susan and Amanda, believe it or not, it's actually starting to snow out here in Columbus right now, but the Crawfish River, where officials are hoping water will begin to recede, is still in the flood stages and continuing to flood. And we're going to take a look. You can see some of these homes and just why they had to evacuate this normally still current, really moving here along the people were evacuated from their homes, and we watched as the Dodge County Emergency Management Team worked to get people from their homes to safety earlier today. And we also did see last night an assisted living home also being evacuated, and the city administrator says, well, it's not an easy call to make those evacuations. It was something he felt they had to do for the safety of the community.
The water levels are at a point where if there were to be an emergency situation, our emergency vehicles couldn't get in. So with what's predicted yet, or the unknown in the next couple of days, we made the call to do the evacuation so that people can just be safe.
That is Adam Duxter reporting live in Columbus tonight. Flooding in DeForest as well, prompting power outages and more evacuations overnight.
Our Keely Arthur is live there now with a look at how residents are doing. Keely.
Well, the village of DeForest had been preparing for something like this, but hadn't really seen it come to reality until last night. Of course, homes along the Yahara dealing with the overflow of this river, but homeowners far away from bodies of water also dealing with lots of flooding too.
So this is my backyard. The entire block completely flooded.
John Nauman documenting the scene from his DeForest home porch yesterday. Today, he and his wife Samantha sharing what happened to us, explaining that their home nowhere near any bodies of water, but on a low point.
The exterior staircase to my basement
Got clobbered as ice and snow melted, filling bodies of water, giving it nowhere else to go.
There was a current coming east to west right down this way.
The Naumans have lived here for 9 years. They've experienced water in their basement, but weren't expecting anything like this.
Hard to see. This is all our tubs floating. Never been this bad before, not by a long shot.
Village of DeForest Director of Public Services Kelly Bielkowski agreeing.
No one has ever seen or experienced anything like this.
Blaming a set of troublesome ingredients.
We had high temperatures, we have frozen ground, significant amount of snow melt, and just the river is high, storm sewers can't keep up.
On creating the perfect recipe for widespread flooding. Blocks away from the Naumans, families living alongside the Yahara River suffering too.
We did volunteer evacuate, we'll say 10 to 12 homes. Several homes were without gas and electric for the evening, and I think still are.
Good news, the water is receding according to emergency services, and folks in these bad situations happen to live in a pretty good and caring community.
We had neighbors coming and checking. They don't know us. They're friends with a neighbor behind, and is there anything we can do? And bringing John food last night while he was working.
A lot of support.
Now the sun is starting to peek out here a little bit. We're not dealing with any snowflakes like Adam is over in Columbus. The water is receding, but for folks trying to be proactive and prevent any other issues, you can still pick up sandbags over at Village Hall or the fire station. Back to you.
Thank you, Keely.
In Darlington, the Pecatonica River is still at more than 17 feet this afternoon. It climbed 13 feet in 48 hours due to a combination of rain and a sudden spring warm-up. That is still more than a foot above major flood stage, but the National Weather Service says it could drop below 17 feet later tonight and drop below major flood stage tomorrow. It's the highest level the river has reached in more than 25 years.
An update in the investigation of a Madison teacher. MMSD announced today Robert Muller Owens is resigning from the district. He's accused of assaulting a student at Whitehorse Middle School in February. The Dane County District Attorney decided not to charge him. A spokesperson for the district says they're committed to creating welcoming and safe schools for all.
A Baraboo woman is unaccounted for after a devastating fire early this morning. The house on Terrytown Road was engulfed in flames. Firefighters got the call from a passerby just before 7:30 this morning. By 8 o'clock, firefighters were able to extinguish the fire. Baraboo Police Chief Mark Schaaf says it's too early to tell if the house had smoke detectors, but this is a good opportunity to remind people to check their alarms at home.
Madison police are asking for your help to identify a man found floating in Lake Mendota early this morning. Someone called 911 when they saw the man in his early to mid-20s in the water near Lake Street around 6 o'clock. Emergency crews brought the man back to shore and took him to the hospital. He is alive, but police still need help identifying him. He is white, 5 feet 6 inches and 130 pounds with a slender to average build. He has dark short hair that's a little longer on top. If you think you know who he is, call 911. Officials say there are no signs of foul play.
Milwaukee police are asking everyone to keep an eye out for a missing 2-year-old girl. In a press conference today, police say they have not found Noelani Robinson. She was believed to be with her father, Darius Higgins, but when police arrested him, she was not with him. Police Chief Alfonso Morales says Higgins is, quote, a textbook definition of what we're confronting in human trafficking, but would not elaborate. The FBI is offering a $5,000 reward for information.
Just 16 days now until the spring election, April 2nd. The most talked about statewide race on the ballot is for state Supreme Court between judges Lisa Neubauer and Brian Hagedorn. Tonight, News 3 Now will be hosting a debate between the two candidates. Eric Franke will moderate. He joins us now live with a preview. Eric?
Amanda, good evening. We are out here at the State Bar Association, our gracious host tonight for this debate. We're teaming up with WISC-Politics.com. We've all seen the ads in this race. This is a chance to get to know these candidates a little bit better. Judge Neubauer has served as on the State Appeals Court since 2007. Her opponent, Brian Hagedorn, in the same role on an appeals court since 2015. They're both seeking to replace outgoing, retiring State Supreme Court Justice Shirley Abrahamson on April 2nd. And tonight, they'll be taking questions from two veteran political reporters, J.R. Ross, the editor at WISC-politics.com, and our chief political reporter, Jessica Arp. They'll be asking the questions tonight, an opportunity again for you to get to know these two candidates. If you want to watch this, you can do so via channel3000.com. We'll live stream it there. Also through our Channel 3000 News 3 Now Facebook page. If you're busy tonight and can't see it when it starts in about 22 minutes at 6:30, we will re-air it on Channel 3 at about 10:30 on Sunday night, so you can watch it then. We'll also have a recap tonight on News 3 Now at 10. Amanda?
All right, thank you so much, Eric. You can also hear from the candidates running for Madison mayor this weekend. Incumbent Paul Soglin and challenger Satya Rhodes Conway will take part in a forum at Covenant Presbyterian Church on Seago Road. That is Saturday at 4 p.m. You're encouraged to come with questions.
Coming up next on News 3 Now at 6. 6 months ago, a gunman opened fire inside Paradigm in Middleton.
Next, how they're honoring the people that may have saved lives that day. Stay with us.
It's been 6 months since a gunman opened fire at a Middleton software company.
And Paradigm is taking steps towards helping employees and first responders heal. Rose Schmidt is here to explain their new efforts. Rose.
That's right. Well, we learned today that some employees have chosen not to return to Paradigm after the shooting last year. But the heads of the company say they've made changes in many areas of the culture, vamping up mental health efforts, renovating the building to make sure it looks different inside, and allowing employees to enter at their own time frame. After spending 6 months in a temporary space, Paradigm employees are coming back home.
Renovations are completing on this, and we expect to be in this building by the end of the month.
The same building where 4 people were shot after a gunman opened fire in September.
You're just piecing through something that's very hard to comprehend.
But at a news conference Friday, the Middleton software company delivered some good news.
I am very happy to report that all of our physically injured employees are back to work in a full-time capacity.
While Paradigm workers are still healing,
we have had employees that have struggled with coming into the building.
They also want to show gratitude to those who saved their lives.
We knew we needed to say thank you, and it just started with an idea.
An idea to turn something terrible into something beautiful for first responders.
We developed a special gift for them to say thank you by capturing broken glass from the site here and turned it into a special box.
The boxes were given to 200 officers, EMS, and medical crews at a ceremony where media were not allowed to attend. But Paradigm provided us with this video from the event.
As you can see, I'm still holding on to my gift.
The presentation of this box represents the personal lives on that day at that time of Paradigm employees.
Chief Chuck Folk and Sheriff Dave Mahoney say their training made the positive outcome possible.
To get that recognition and that acknowledgement is something I will never forget.
And as first responders heal from their own trauma, they want people to know the workers themselves should be applauded for their heroism.
And what that day highlighted was the courage of Paradigm employees.
Employees who plan to take each day one step at a time.
It's a Paradigm family, and then that's what we call things.
Now, you may remember that the company used to be called WTS Paradigm, but now it's just Paradigm after the company went through a rebranding in November. But they say the name change is unrelated to that shooting.
All right, thank you so much, Rose.
Thanks, Rose.
Next on News 3 Now at 6, if you've traveled in Verona during your morning commute, you've probably seen a friendly, smiling face who's also waving.
Yep, coming up, we'll meet Don Casda and find out why he does what he does. That's next.
Welcome back. If you live in Verona or have kids who go to school there, you may have noticed a crossing guard who waves at everyone.
Don Casda sits in front of Tuvalu Coffee Shop every morning, rain, shine, sleet, or snow. He has been doing it for 19 years, and he's known for waving at everybody that passes by. Don says he loves what he does. He's a custodian at Country View Elementary School for a long time, and that's what he did before he became a crossing guard.
I used to work up at the school, and a guy told me, he said, why don't you be crossing guard? So I started in 2000.
His friends at Tuvalu appreciate him and his kindness so much that they let him come in and get free coffee whenever he wants.
Another smiling face outside, our Dave Caulfield. He always waves to us. Dave, how's it going out there?
Well, it's going all right, Amanda. We have been waving hello to some sunshine over the past few hours across southern Wisconsin after a cloudy start to the day. A little bit of snow shower activity showing up across portions of the area this evening. Just some flurries, nothing that we need to worry about too much, but don't be surprised if we do see those snowflakes. And we are expecting some quiet weather into this weekend, which is good news because we still do have a lot of river and street flooding ongoing across southern Wisconsin. You can see just some of the flood warnings across our local area right now. And as we head into this weekend, some rivers will improve, some creeks will improve, but others will start to crest. So we're still going to be dealing with that river flooding into next week in some spots. Live look in Madison at mostly cloudy skies on the Edgewater Skycam. Still a little bit of sunshine peeking through, though. Today's high of 40, just a little bit below normal for this time of year. I think will be seasonably chilly as we head into this weekend, but temperatures are looking to get closer to normal and actually even above normal as we head into the middle of next week, just in time for the start of spring. On Doppler track, I mentioned the snowflakes breaking out over the last few hours. Again, nothing too major, but don't be surprised if we do see a few flurries or maybe even a snow shower as we head into the early evening and middle evening hours. But as we get to the overnight hours, I think we'll start to see the clouds decrease once again. Temperatures right now are in the upper 30s and lower 40s, so pretty close to our daytime highs. Wind speeds, though, out of the north and west at about 15 to 25 miles per hour, making it feel a little bit closer to 30 degrees. I think that breeze gets better as we head into tomorrow as well. 5 days to go, just 5 days. You can count it on one hand how close we are to the start of spring. And again, closer to springtime temperatures do return by the time we get into next week. We'll be in the middle 50s as we start next weekend, but then we welcome in some springtime chances for some thunderstorms. Tonight, though, no thunderstorms to speak of. Again, a few snowflakes not out of the question, decreasing clouds overall and colder with temperatures in the low 20s. On future track, we'll notice the clouds on the decrease into the overnight hours starting off Saturday in the lower 20s. Plenty of sunshine on the way for Saturday, so that will help some slightly chillier than normal temperatures feel a little bit better outside with highs closer to 40 degrees tomorrow. And then we'll start off in the 20s once again on Saturday, on Sunday, excuse me. The clouds do increase on St. Patty's Day. I can't rule out a few snowflakes here and there, but really not going to be a major deal. Not a bad day looking at the forecast for Sunday on St. Patty's Day. Into next week, we're warming up through the 40s for Monday and Tuesday. And then as we head into Wednesday and Thursday, we're a little bit closer to 50 degrees. Again, our next good chance of seeing some additional shower and thunderstorm activity arrives as we head into next weekend.
The clock strikes midnight for Nebraska, and the Badgers are headed to the Big Ten semifinals. The story is coming up in sports. At the Big Ten men's basketball tournament in Chicago, all signs pointed to the Wisconsin Badgers cruising into the semifinals. The fourth-seeded Badgers had all week to rest up, and Nebraska, with only 8 players on the roster, had gone through 2 tough games the last 2 days at the United Center. And that scenario seemed to play out early. The Badgers came out red hot. Khalil Iverson scored the first 4 points, and the Badgers jumped out to an 8-0 lead. But Nebraska hung around because pretty much the Badgers led them. They made a ton of turnovers. Some of them were really ugly. 17 turnovers for Wisconsin. Nebraska had a 46-45 lead in the second half, but then the Badgers pulled out of it. Watch Nate Reavers' 3. So what if he banked it? It still counts. The Badgers take the lead. Then they need one more big hoop late, and Demetric Trice gives it to him. That 3 clinches a hard-fought win. Wisconsin to the semifinals, 66-62.
Knowing that Nebraska was playing well, we were going to be fighting against that momentum and emotional push that they had going the last couple days. Nice thing about this is you get a chance to survive, advance, and move on to next, and quickly learn from this, put it behind us.
Ethan Happ had a miserable day, 4 points and 7 turnovers. He was on the bench for the last 2.5 minutes, but Wisconsin still won. Michigan State beat Ohio State, so it's Wisconsin and Michigan State Big Ten semifinals tomorrow. We'll have the game live on Channel 3 at noon tomorrow. There are 2 more quarterfinals tonight. Minnesota and Purdue have just started, Iowa and Michigan after that. At the state boys basketball tournament, Sun Prairie plays West Allis Central in the Division I semifinals at about 8:15 at the Kohl Center. Earlier, former Sun Prairie Cardinal Jalen Johnson, well, that's Tiger Woods. Was he at the Kohl Center today? Did I miss something? Anyway, Nicolay ended up winning the game, and they moved on to the Division II final. Shall we go to graphics? You see, look at Tigers hitting into the water all the time. Maybe we'll get back to that later. Anywho, the games so far today determine finals for Divisions 2 and 5. Nicolay will face Milwaukee, Washington in a great Division 2 matchup tomorrow afternoon. Sam Decker's old school, Sheboygan Lutheran, will play Columbus Catholic from Marshfield in Division 5 final tomorrow morning just after 11. The number 1 ranked Wisconsin women's hockey team seems to be in a very good spot heading into the NCAA tournament. Wisconsin hosts Syracuse at LeBon Arena in the national quarterfinals tomorrow afternoon at 2. The Badgers and Orange faced each other in December. Wisconsin outscored them 15-2 in those 2 games. But head coach Mark Johnson says the Badgers have to focus on themselves.
It's more about what we do and what we want to do at this particular junction. Obviously, we're down to 8 teams. A lot of people aren't getting an opportunity to practice today, so we feel fortunate that we're one of the 8. And so you prepare yourself for the opportunity for that game and do what you need to do in the next 2 or 3 days to get your team excited to play.
Okay, Tiger Woods, Players Championship, cruising along, 2 shots out of the lead. Got to the famous Island Green on 17. Look at this. Pulled his tee shot. Oh, into the water. Okay, so you go to the drop area for your 3rd shot. This is Tiger Woods. Guess what? Goes in the water again. By the time he finishes a quadruple bogey 7, he still shot 71, 3 under, so at least he'll make the cut, but it can happen to anyone.
Yes, it can.
All right.
Okay, quick look at weather.
Couple of snowflakes possible tonight. Pretty cold, though, as we head into tomorrow.
All right, thanks for joining us.